We're live now, but we're going to give it a couple seconds for people to start getting into the chat. We had a good show tonight. So I know these videos are always logged and saved on Facebook for the Punishment for Benghazi Now page. This is the No Apology Show. So we also have it going on anchor.fm. If you happen to miss a show, you can go there and catch the recaps, and we got all of them all the time. Bill Maker's in. Hey, Bill, I want to give you a personal shout out and a thank you for yesterday's show, joining in. I know it was definitely a late night show, so thanks for coming in. And good evening to you as well. So chat room is getting full. We got some people coming in. Yesterday's show, we kind of broke down the whole Epstein and Clinton body count. It still amazes me how disgusting it is to look at the blood trail that Clinton leaves behind. It's disgusting. And we, the people, are trying to figure out what to do. We're trying to figure out how to stop it. Really, we want to see Clinton behind bars. I think everybody wants to see Clinton behind bars. And Mark is in here. Mark, how are you? It's good to see you guys. And Bill, good evening. Good evening. It's good to have the chat room full. It's good to have you guys in here. It's good to see your support. I appreciate it. Karen Foster, that's my mom. My mom is in here. Hi, Mom. It's good to have everybody in here. But again, we were talking about yesterday's show, which is still on the Punishment for Benghazi page. You can check it out. You can see it, kind of review it. It got a lot of shares, got a lot of views. Again, thanks everybody for their support. It's absolutely ridiculous. I didn't think it was gonna pop off like that, but people want to see Clinton behind bars. People want to hear the truth. We want to get our government back. We want to get our country back. And the only way to do that is if we as a group, we as a nation, and we as a people come together and figure out how to get these nasty people out of here. I mean, Clinton is just they're a crime family. I said it probably 100 times during yesterday's show. The Clintons are a crime family. That's what they are. And we got to start treating them like that. As a nation, we can put Clinton behind bars. We can take it to trial. We can do that stuff. I mean, this is our country. They work for us, and they're a crime family. They're a mafia family, or they want to be. They're a wannabe mafia crime family. It's horrible. So today we're going to try to jump into the Second Amendment. Look, the mass shootings and all that garbage that's going on, it's not a gun problem. And we need to get this straight. We need to get it out there that this country does not have a gun problem. We have an evil problem. We have a society problem. We have a don't raise your kids right problem. Don't spank your kids. Don't paddle your kids. Yesterday's show, I told you I was scared to death when my dad would come home. My parents still have the paddle at the house. My mom can vouch for that. My still has the paddle at the house, and it's still scary to see it. Now, I still did stupid kid things, but I'm telling you right now, paddling your children isn't child abuse, but the government wants you to believe that it's child abuse. We don't have a gun problem in this country. We have a societal breakdown. Society has broke down. And the liberals, the liberal left, they're the ones that are doing this. They're the ones that are attempting to ruin your kids. They have to. They have to ruin the kids. That's their narrative. And we're letting it happen. From what they do in the schools, from what they do, Tyler's in here, thank you. From what they do in the schools, to try the government overreach inside your home on how you raise your children. Now listen, the same government that has no morals, we're talking about the Clintons, the Obamas, the Gores, some Republicans, a lot of Republicans, these same people who have no morals, who don't know how to even control their own government, who can't figure out how to read a book, are the ones trying to overreach, overstep, and come into your home and tell you how to raise your kids. As a nation, that's got to make you upset. As a parent, that has to make you upset. As a constitutional conservative, as a Christian, that's got to make you upset, because we know how to raise our children the right way. You don't see a bunch of conservatives running around shooting people because we're not dumb. We were raised right. We have morals. Again, I give credit a lot because growing up, I wasn't the best of kid, I guess. I wasn't bad. Like, I wasn't running around stealing things and going to jail, but I was, did normal kid things. But today, You don't have people doing normal kid things. Now you have people running around shooting people because they don't agree with them, or running around shooting people because they're getting bullied. Charlotte's in here. How are you doing? We've been talking off air a lot, Charlotte, and she's been giving me tons of information. So I appreciate the fact that that she's in here, and I definitely love the fact that you're in the comments. So I'm going to do my best, guys, to keep bouncing over to the comments and getting everybody involved that wants to be involved in the comment section, so that way we can get a good dialogue going. But right now, the narrative, and you're going to see it a lot in the DNC, you're going to see it a lot for the campaign. They're going to try to tell you that guns are bad, that nobody should own guns, and that if you own a gun or an AR-15 or whatever, that you're an evil human being and that you're part of the problem. That's when we have to stop the narrative. That's when we have to start speaking out. That's when we have to come together as a nation and go, what? No. The gun is not the problem. And I'm going to tell you why the gun isn't the problem. We're going to break it down. We're going to do a little history lesson for you guys today. We're going to do a little history lesson in case there's any liberals in here that want to argue the fact or call me a racist because, you know, I have a gun. Now listen, the reason we have guns is not to hunt. It is not to protect yourself from an armed robber. We have the Second Amendment for one reason. It just so happens that you can do other things with the Second Amendment. You can hunt with the Second Amendment. You have that to protect yourself from the Second Amendment. But the main purpose, the main reason we have the Second Amendment is so that when the government gets too tyrannical, too big, we, the people, have the power to abolish it by any means. And that is why we have the Second Amendment, because we will try. We'll do what we did the first time. We'll send letters of grievances. We'll say, look, we want the liberals to stop destroying our country, make it stop. Hence why we have Trump. I consider Trump a letter of grievance. We did that to Congress. We did that to the House. Now we have the Second Amendment. This is our last, the Second Amendment is our last defense, if you will, against a tyrannical government. And that's, a lot of people get scared when they hear that. Oh, you can't say that, you can't say that. I absolutely can, because our forefathers said it. Our framers said it. It's in the Constitution. I can absolutely say that we have the Second Amendment to fight our government if we have to and when the time comes. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't even saying, oh, this goes against standards. You can't say that kind of stuff. You're going to get looked at by the Secret Service. I don't care. It doesn't matter, because nothing I say is going against the Constitution. In fact, it's quite the opposite. That's why they're scared of the Second Amendment. That's why the liberals want to abolish it, because we have people in this country who are armed to the teeth, and that's not a bad thing, who are armed to the teeth going, come take my freedom away. I dare you. And they're accepting our dare. They're accepting it because look at what they're doing to the country. Look at what they're doing to the Constitution. I'm a big constitutionalist. I believe that it doesn't need to be changed. It doesn't need to be rewritten. Nothing about the Constitution needs to change at anything. Nothing, not a sentence. Now, you make amendments to it. I understand that. You know, slavery was a bad thing. We made amendments to it. I understand. But you don't mess with the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment is going to keep the first one intact. The Second Amendment is going to keep all the other amendments there, all the other rights that we have. We have inalienable rights. I hope you know what that means. Do you understand what that means? We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The right to that. If we have to defend that right with the Second Amendment, by God, we will. I know we will, because we did it the first time. You got to remember, people, this is what they say. Well, the Second Amendment is outdated because the military, they have better weapons than we do. How'd that work out in Nam? We lost that war because of people defending their land. I'm not saying it's good that they won or it's bad, you know, whatever. What I'm saying is that when freedom or your core beliefs, and our core beliefs in this country are based upon the Judeo-Christian principles. That's what they are. They are based on Judeo-Christian principles. End of discussion. End of discussion. So if we're based on Judeo-Christian principles, and somebody wants to come and threaten to take away your freedom, We have that right as a nation, as a people, to defend that right. So you got a lot of these DNCers, these Democrats, these communists, these horrible liberals. You have a lot of them saying, why do you need an AR-15? You can't hunt with an AR-15. Okay. I mean, you can, but okay. Well, you really need that to defend somebody, to defend your house? Sure. Yeah, absolutely I do. But again, that's not the point. Well, you don't need an AR-15 then. You have no reason for it. But I do. I need it because you, the liberals, the left, the government, are starting to come and infringe on my basic inalienable rights. I said a long time ago on my show, back when I was doing it, long time ago, that our basic rights are being so infringed on, they're being so stepped on, that when they get totally taken away from us, it's going to happen like that. We're not even going to understand what happened, because they started to do it. They started to creep. They started to creep to it, right? So now the First Amendment, that's already being censored. You can't tell me it's not. Facebook is censoring it. Google is censoring it. Snapchat, whatever you use, whatever social media you use, it's being censored. That's a freedom. That's a freedom that's being censored. They want to say, you got that idiot Colin Kaepernick say, well, they're taking away my freedom of speech by not letting me kneel for the national anthem, and when no, that's not a thing. That's not freedom of speech. For one, he could say whatever he wants to outside of his jersey. He was being employed by somebody, and if you're employed by somebody, guess what? You kind of got to abide by the rules. So the liberals try to use that and say, well, the conservatives are actually the ones that are trying to limit freedom of speech. We're not trying to limit freedom of speech. We're trying to tell you, if you are employed by that person, if you are employed by a company, and said company has a rule, you will stand for the national anthem. By God, you better stand for the national anthem or you're fired. That's a thing. If you break company policy in any job, you're going to be fired. It has nothing to do about freedom of speech. So when the liberals say, hey, we're taking away your guns, or when they say we're not going to come take away your guns, remember what they're doing to freedom of speech. They are absolutely coming to try to take away your guns. Look at what the red flag laws, and look at what the Republicans are doing. The Republicans are backing a lot of this stuff. Guys, we're at a pivotal point in this nation. Our guns are not the problem. It's a society problem. It's a parental problem, really, when it comes down to it. It's a school problem. It's the ability that it's the liberals and what they've done kind of problem. Listen, guys, you wanna blame school shooters and blame them on God and say, oh, well, why would God let that happen? Let me tell you something. Why in the world would God step in when we as a nation have done everything we can to take God out of schools? Let's take away the Ten Commandments, and which teaches morals, right? Absolutely teaches morals. And say, no, you can't have that. It's a prayer. Get it out, get it out, get it out. It offends people. That offends people? The 10 Commandments offend people? What? How is that even a thing? How can thou shalt not kill offend you? Because the liberals want society to break down. The easiest way to brainwash people and the easiest way to take control of the nation and rewrite everything that we've worked hard for is to get a whole new generation to not have any morals, to not give a crap about what they do, to not care about society, to not care about their neighbor, to not care about other people, and then to tell them that they're victims. They're victims of the people who actually, built this nation. They're victims of the people who are actually trying to help rebuild this nation. Doesn't make any sense. Charlotte says, if you look from a historical perspective, that's how a country gets taken over, from the inside. There isn't always a war of bloodshed. Sometimes it's done quietly. That is probably one of the best points of the night, and it's so early in the show. You're right. It gets taken over from within. Look what they've done to the Republican Party. The Republican Party used to be the party that stood for things. There wasn't a lot of rhinos back then. But now you got, your John McCants. You have these Republicans now They don't care about your freedoms anymore. They only care about being career politicians. And that's another thing we have a problem in this country. It's not a gun problem. It's a politician problem. It's a society breakdown, a society problem. So here we go. Let's go like this. You want this country to have no more mass shootings, but yet we're gonna limit any good guy that can have a gun. Any good guy that can have a gun. That doesn't make any sense. It can't make any sense. If you have any, and this is, I'm not talking about a liberal narrative here, but if you have any common sense inside your head whatsoever, you cannot tell me that a gun-free law or gun-free zones work, because most mass shootings happen inside of a gun-free zone. Look, if the gunman knows he's not going to be met with resistance, then by God, he's probably going to go there. Right? That's easy target, shooting fish in a barrel, right? Shooting fish in a barrel. It's a gun-free zone. But to fully understand why they're trying to take away the guns, we got to look at what they're doing in a whole. What they're doing as a whole. We have to look at, why do they want an unarmed population? Why do they want an unarmed America? Is it really to stop school shootings? No. No, it's not to stop. They could care less about it. If they cared less about school shootings, or if they cared about school shootings, they would stop making them gun-free zones. They would allow teachers to carry. We would find some kind of honest-to-God dialogue to stop this kind of crap from going on. So they could care less about that. They want a gun-free America. They want you to be unarmed because you are the ones that will fight back. You are the ones that will give pushback. This nation isn't a nation full of wussies. Not even close. We never have been. We the people have never been scared to stand up and speak out. We as a nation have never been scared to go, you know what? We had the Second Amendment not to hunt, not to protect me from a robber, but to protect me from you trying to rip up my Constitution. That's why we have the Second Amendment, and that's why they want an unarmed population. Can you imagine an Obama nation or a Hillary nation where there is no guns, where there is nobody able to actually defend themselves? Do you have any idea what they could get away with? Do you have any idea what they would get away with? Not even what they could get away with, but what they would. Clinton would walk all over us. Capitalism would be dead as we know it. The American experiment would be gone. The American experiment wouldn't even exist. And that's exactly what we are, and we're still an experiment. Don't let people tell you that the American experiment, the great American experiment, has been completed, because it hasn't. We're still going through growing pains in this country. It's how we handle it is why we continue to survive and thrive in the world. But if we give that kind of power over to the left and the people who hate capitalism and are just plain out socialists, if we give that kind of power over, the experiment will be dead, because they'll kill it, because they hate it. Socialists hate it. That's another reason why you see them say, oh, we have a gun problem, we need to do this, we need to do that with guns. It's not because they actually want to stop any of this stuff. I challenge any politician. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I challenge any politician. Come on here and have a serious talk about the gun issue you think we have, because it's not a gun issue, but they won't address that. The first thing they want to say is, well, these people are getting guns and it's just god-awful. They're getting all these guns illegally, and they're not getting these guns legally. They're saying they're getting these guns illegally legally when they're not. They're getting these guns illegally. More background checks aren't going to help at this point. Limiting my number of bullets inside my magazine isn't going to help at this point. What's going to help at this point is having that idiot gunman who's going to jump into a school to try to shoot kids. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you guys tonight, but these liberals don't care about it. They don't care about the fact that the bloodshed is coming from our children. They don't care. They don't care that the kids are dying. All they care about is pushing an agenda and politicizing something that has no right to be politicized. They're politicizing family members of the deceased. They're putting the dead children on a pedestal to push their agenda, and that is disgusting. And I challenge any liberal to come on here and actually have a talk about what you really want to see come from a gun control law. Because it's not going to work. If they don't use guns, they're going to use knives. If they don't use knives, they're going to use clubs. If they don't use clubs, they're going to use rope. They're going to find out, evil will find a way to kill, and that's why the good guys with guns, the true patriots, that's why we cling to our guns so bad. Because we know that yes, the Second Amendment gives us the ability to protect ourselves from a home burglary or getting mugged. It also puts food on our table. If you're a hunter, whether you do it for the family or whatever, but if you're a hunter, it puts food on the table. But the real reason we have the Second Amendment has absolutely nothing to do with any of those two things. It has everything to do about the government taking the Constitution, ripping it up into shreds, throwing it over our heads for a communist party like it's confetti. That's an issue, guys. And we as a nation are tired of it. We're sick of it. So when we talk about guns tonight, we're going to talk about it on a couple different ways. What did our forefathers think about it? Did our forefathers write this Constitution, for one? Did they write the Constitution and say, oh, you know what? It's going to be outdated sometime, so let's just give us let's just give it the best we got and hope that it stands the test of time? Or did our forefathers knowingly sit down and plan something out that was going to stand the test of time by saying, you know what, we need these guns, we need to have this type of security in case the government becomes too tyrannical? Because how many times have you heard the saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely? We're handing over, and it's the new generation of children. It's the new generation that's voting in people like AOC that are trying to get Bernie Sanders to vote. Even the people who voted for Obama, we are getting a generation of people to hand over our freedoms. They're not even taking them anymore. We're handing them over. We're giving them the ability to come into our homes and take our freedom away. And if that doesn't make you mad, I have no idea what will, quite honest. I have no idea what's going to make you mad enough to go, enough. We have to stop it. We have to make it go away. And the only way to make it go away is to band together. You saw what happened with Trump. Whether you like him or you hate him, it doesn't matter. He was elected for a reason. I don't care if you hate him and hate him and hate him and hate him. Look at what he's done for the country. We the people did that. We the American people voted for him to do a certain job, and right now he's not doing too bad of a job. There's a couple questionable things he's got going on with some red flag laws that involve guns, but we're going to push back on it. We the American people are going to keep pressure, and we're going to make sure that our will gets done. The time is over for the liberal reign. The time is over for safe spaces. I don't care if you need a safe space or not. If I say something to you and you have to go mold something out of Play-Doh, get the hell out of my country. And if you think I'm racist for that, call me a racist. Don't give a damn. But if you really need to go mold something out of Play-Doh because I think you're an idiot and I think your political opinion is wrong and I've triggered you or whatever they say, tough. Get over it and get out of my country. This country wasn't built upon safe spaces. It just wasn't. This country was built upon people who knew a struggle, who had a struggle, and now we're witnessing part of that struggle. We're witnessing part of that. We're seeing what happens when a government gets too big and too tyrannical. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is Charlotte says this is a well-placed plan by the Luciferian elites. And we'll get into the elites too, because you got to remember, conspiracy theories that used to be considered conspiracy theories aren't theories anymore. They're just not. They have these ideas. They have this ideology, and they're pushing it. They're pushing it. The liberal left, the reason they want you to take away their guns is because they know the American people are getting fed up. The American people are getting fed up of having our freedom stripped from us, and eventually we know, as a nation, we know there might come a time where we have to band together and we might have to fight. Nobody wants that to happen. Nobody here is saying, by God, we want another civil war, because that's not what we want. That is not. Conservatives, true constitutionalists, we don't want to have to take that route. But we know that the time might come. You know, I talk a lot about Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Paine. You know, those are two of my, especially Samuel Adams, two of my favorite, three of my favorite founding fathers. I talk a lot about them, and people say, well, you're saying radical things. I'm just saying the same things that they say. Charlotte says they dumb down the younger generation, push the political correct agenda, and then and the transgender agenda. You're right. That's exactly what the left is doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They need to do that. They have to do that. They don't have a choice. So again, we as a nation, we're not going to give up our guns because the left wants to give you a false narrative that all people who own guns are bad, that all people who carry guns are evil. That's the exact opposite. Legal gun owners are not the problem. Legal guns are not the problem. AR-15s are not the problem. The problem is a political agenda that's being pushed by the left onto the conservatives, onto the patriots, to disarm us, to make the generation stupid, to overpower us, to come and take our freedoms away. That's the real problems. A generation of people who have been taught by liberals to hate their parents, to despise authority, to hate police officers, to be entitled little punks. That's the real problem. Don't you dare sit there and tell me we have a gun problem in this country, because we don't, and that narrative doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with an educated person. It doesn't fit with the constitutional conservative. It doesn't fit with the true patriot. It just doesn't fit. Alex says, thanks for tuning in, Alex. It says, they will never disarm the American people. I'm with you. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They will not disarm the American people, because we will die before they try to disarm the American people. And that's just a fact. Nobody wants to do it. But you're not going to disarm the American people. The government is getting too big, and the American people know that. We understand that. We see that. But you will not tell me that we have a gun problem in this country when you have the loony left going around teaching no morals, teaching the opposite of morals, saying it's okay to be corrupt, it's okay to hate authority. You know, there was never a time in this country where you actually had to look at a cop and go, I fear for your life, not because you're doing a dangerous job, but because you have no idea what's going to happen when you get off duty. They can come to your house, they can kill you. Now you have to look at a cop and go, man, you already had a dangerous job that we feared for your life when you're on duty. Now we have to worry about, is your family in danger, because all you're doing is trying to protect the people. That's a serious thing. We never had that in this country before, until the liberal left tried to destroy everything the conservatives, the true patriots, held as value. And when I say as value, we held history as value. They're trying to rewrite history. We held, let's teaching our kids properly as a high standard. You don't see that anymore. You don't see parents giving a crap about what they teach their kids. They're walking zombies. And I don't dare, and I'm not taking the whole Trump train either on saying that violent video games are the problem. I don't believe that it is. I played violent video games my whole life, and I have no urge to kill anybody. I have an urge to smack somebody sometimes. But I have no urge to go out there and commit mass murder. I don't have an urge to do that. So don't blame video games. Blame the liberals for destroying and distorting what true morals and values are. We were talking about Epstein last night, and I was getting sick, and off air I talked to Charlotte a lot, and she was just sending me link after link after link of things that are so deplorable. You wouldn't even be able to fathom it. That's how disgusting it is. And we have these kind of leaders being in charge, making laws, and then telling us how to raise our children. I want you to really think about that for a minute. I want you to really, honest to God, think about that for a minute. The same people who we're saying have committed horrible crimes, Those people are the ones that are being elected into Washington. It's the generation that is entitled. They believe they're entitled. We know they're not entitled to anything. I still believe that. If you don't work for it, you're not entitled. You work for it, by God, you're going to get it. You keep working for it. America is the land of opportunity. So when you hear a liberal, and you hear, especially you guys on Facebook, I see it all the time. We're arguing and arguing, arguing and arguing and arguing and arguing with the left, saying, listen, it's not a gun problem. And they keep coming back and keep coming back with the same thing. We need to ban AR-15s. No, we don't. This show is being used as a think tank. We're bringing people together. We're having open dialogue. And we're not afraid of pissing some people off. We're not afraid of being politically incorrect because I don't care. I don't care. And we're going to get into illegal immigration later. And if you are offended by me saying illegal immigrant, you might as well just sign off now. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm not politically correct. I'm not afraid of calling Clinton a murderer. I'd even tag her in this if I could. I'd give her a phone call and tell her that the American people are coming for her, because the American people are coming for the left. We're waking up in droves. Obama was a big wake-up call. And I'm not saying Bush was great, but Obama, that got the American people thinking. That got the American people on the rise. Alex says immoral orders are invalid. Absolutely. Absolutely, they are. Charlotte says Hillary Clinton organization has several transgender camps for kids in Arizona. Absolutely. And we'll get into some transgender stuff later too, because I don't know what my views are. Probably different than yours, but I have a problem with the way they're pushing that agenda, especially when they're trying to do it in the schools, and it's just not right. But the shootings that are going on happen in gun-free zones, and you want to blame the NRA. That's what the liberals want to do. The liberals want to blame the NRA. Well, it's the NRA's fault to keep blowing. How does that even make sense? Your mind blows at that point. Your mind blows when you're talking about an organization that does not shoot people. I have never seen a group of NRA members walk into a school and start spraying bullets and killing kids. I have never seen that. You want to know what I have seen? I have seen punk people run into a school and spray kids down and then blame Trump for it. I've seen that happen. I've seen a bunch of liberals blame the NRA for it, but I've never seen really the NRA members or the whole board of the NRA or whatever you want to call it, the group, go into a school and start spraying kids. I've never seen that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen that. You're not going to see that. 9 times out of 10, the people who are committing these horrible crimes are either deranged liberals or extremely, extremely deranged Republicans. We're talking neo-Nazis. We're talking not patriots. We're talking, and that the left can't define that. The left can't differentiate between conservatives and neo-Nazis, even though we are nowhere near that. We are nowhere near the neo-Nazi part. We're not even close to that side. We're the freaking opposite. But the left wants to tell you that. The left wants to compare you to a neo-Nazi, because if they compare you to a neo-Nazi, they'll get enough uneducated morons to go, oh, well, I guess if they're conservatives, they must be racist neo-Nazis. The hell? We're getting smarter now. We're getting smarter than that. And the NRA is responsible for most modern gun legislation, i.e. bump stocks. You're correct. You are correct. The NRA is to blame. I absolutely, absolutely believe that. They are to blame for more gun laws, more gun control. And I'll tell the NRA that too. Don't bow down to these liberal lawmakers and these liberal lobbyists who want to blame the conservatives for their doing. It's their doing. It's the liberals' doing. It's not the conservatives. It's not the gun owners. It's not the responsible gun owners. It's not the patriots, for God's sakes. It's the godless left that doesn't care that your children's dying because they want to get reelected. That's what the problem is. But you won't hear people talk about that, will you? What you hear is the left go, well, it was the neo-Nazi conservatives that cling to their guns and their God. I do cling to my guns and my God. My God also says to not kill people. But my God also says to protect myself. Arm those teachers. Put armed guards in there. Put some, I know many veterans that have served this country that would gladly stand in front of a school and wait for some little punk to go in there and shoot somebody. I know many veterans that would do that. They'd probably do it for free. But the liberal left, if they really gave a damn that the fact that their gun control legislation is killing children, if they really gave a damn, they would have an open dialogue about it. They would have an open dialogue. They would try to come together and fix it, but they won't. They won't. They want to continue to make gun-free zones. They want to continue to tell you that you need to limit the number of bullets in your magazine. No, up the number of bullets in my magazine. Up it. Because I'm telling you right now, if you really want to fix this problem, they need to come to the table and say, you know what, we're out of our realm. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. If you ever heard Feinstein say that you can, like, shoot an AR-15 at 55 bazillions rounds per, nanosecond, like that old bag did, then you know the fact that the liberals are out of their realm when it comes to guns. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But yet we're allowing people who don't know what the hell they're talking about to limit what we do and how we understand things. We understand things like this. Bad guy with gun will die from good guy with gun. It's really that simple, people. And it's sad. It's sad that it's that simple. Bill Maker says, any law that restricts or prohibits gun ownership is unconstitutional. Amen to that, Bill. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. He says this current government seems to think that they gave us the right to own firearms. We, the people, have always had the right. The Second Amendment is simply stating that our right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed by the government. Hey, Bill, you won. That is exactly right. Why can other people not figure that out, Bill? That is correct. The government doesn't give us the right to bear arms. It tells us the government can't take away that right. Doesn't give us the right. Tells us they can't take it away. And that's what the Second Amendment does as well. It tells us the government can't take away any of our rights, really. And like the liberal left is trying like hell to do. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. She's trying so hard, her skin is literally melting off her face. We're dealing with people like that. We're dealing with career politicians who hate guns so bad because they know what it will do to their ideology. We know, and they know, that an armed population will destroy their narrative and their agenda so fast that they'll have to go back to whatever country they came from to try to destroy this one. They know that. They absolutely know that. I love the Thug Life dollar in there. That is awesome. Can you see it? I'm talking to Tyler's with us over here, but the Thug Life dollar is awesome. Alice Gwynn says, exactly why I will never give the NRA a single dollar. And you know what? I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. There's a guy I want you guys to look up. His name is Larry Pratt. I'll have him on the show at some point in time. Larry Pratt, a good friend of mine. He's been on my show many, many, many times. His organization is a great organization to support. They are not the NRA, but they are very, very, very active in lobbying for the right causes. So when you get told we have a gun control problem, and you fight back with it's not a gun control problem, it's a society problem, the liberals want to argue, well, no, it's not. No, it's not. It can't be. That's no way. We're teaching you. You want to know why they tell you it's not a society problem? Because they're the ones that are raising society. So, of course, they don't want to think they're at fault for it, right? It's the guns. It's the gun. It's the same gun that I've had locked up in my safe who has never shot anybody, right? It's his problem. It's that problem. It's the gun's problem. Or it's the conservatives' fault because we cling to God and guns. We cling to God and guns because you're trying to take away our Constitution. That's why we cling to God and guns, you idiot. We don't have a choice. We try to do it the right way. We try to reason with you. We try to say, look, for the love of everything holy, stop messing with our Constitution. Just stop. And they're not doing that. They will not stop messing with our Constitution. They're going to be met with resistance, and they're not going to like it. That's why they want guns out of America. That's why they want guns out of the hands of patriots. They have to have them out of the hands of patriots. They have to. Their narrative fails. Their agenda's gone. With an armed population, they don't have a chance in hell. With an unarmed population, they can steamroll us. And that's why right there you have people like Alex, you have people like Bill, who are saying, you ain't taking my guns away. It's not going to happen. No matter what the liberal left tries to spew, or no matter how many idiots you have to argue with on a daily basis, and I'm sure it's a lot, no matter how many times you got to argue, just know that you are not a racist, you are not a neo-Nazi, you are an American patriot. Do not get down on yourself. Do not let them destroy you. Don't let them do it. I'm done with the political correctness crap. I'm done with it. I'm done trying to be nice about it. I'm done trying to say, well, maybe we can come to terms. We can't come to terms with anything. You take away my guns, you're going to get hurt. If you come to try to take away my guns, you're going to get shot. And hell, you might take me out, but I'm taking you out with me. And us as Americans, the majority of us believe that. The majority of us are saying, don't even try to tread on me, because we won't let it happen. Tyler says they're trying to do it with these red flag laws, and we'll get into some red flag laws too. When the doctor asks you, this is a true thing. I go to the doctor. I have back pain, and I was trying to get some medication for my back. And the first question they asked me is, do you have guns? I wasn't trying to get an opioid. I wasn't trying to get any of that. No marijuana, nothing. I was just trying to get cortisone. Do you have guns? Do you have guns? That's none of your damn business. This is what Nazi Germany did. And the left is trying to rewrite history so that way the American people can't open up a book and go, holy crap, that is Nazi Germany. Holy crap, they're doing the same thing Hitler did. Holy crap, they're doing the same thing the Third Reich did. That's why these people have to destroy history. That's why you're seeing the liberals take down statues. I'm not talking about the Confederate statues, for God's sakes, or the Confederate flag. That's a whole nother show and a whole nother topic. But I'm talking about they are legitimately trying to rewrite history. They're trying to legitimately tell you that Nazi Germany wasn't as bad as it really was. And people are buying into it. The new generation of phone zombies and computer zombies and video game zombies are buying into the left's narrative that if you're a patriot and you're white, you should be in jail, you owe reparations, and you're a neo-Nazi. No, screw you. That's not how that works. My grandpa didn't own a slave. My grandpa's grandpa didn't own a slave. My grandma didn't own a slave. I didn't own a slave. My dad didn't own a slave. I don't know you jack. Not only do I not own you, Jack, I want to punch you in the face because you're being lazy and are trying to play victim, and that's not what you do in this country. And the more we stand up to that kind of crap and say, call me a racist if you want, I don't give a damn. You think I'm racist against black people because I don't want to pay reparation? No, I'm racist against stupid. Stupid comes in any color. Do not tell me that we owe reparations for anything, because that is simply not true. And if you buy into it and you let them keep talking about it, the left is going to try to pass some crap like that. They're going to do that. The lawmakers are going to start passing stuff like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Claudia is in here. I want to give a special shout out and say thank you. That is awesome. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to get to the chat and trying to make sure I get all the comments going. So share the video if you can, pass it around. Let's get the chat popping, And let's get some people staying in here and getting the dialogue going. But, you know, I used to say that I'll stand on the corner with a bullhorn screaming at the top of my lungs that Obama is a socialist and not give a damn what other people think. And now what you're seeing is Black Lives Matter, who they are a racist organization, people. Black Lives Matter, if you don't believe that the Black Lives Matter is a racist organization, then you are deaf and blind. Black Lives Matter hates white people. They don't care about white people. They don't care about this country. They barely care about black people. Let's just make that known. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization who targets police officers, who targets authority. That's what Black Lives Matter is. And they're the ones. That kind of ideology are the ones that are trying to take away your guns away. Because what's going to happen when Black Lives Matter comes and starts shooting places up? The bad guys are still going to get guns. The good guys, we don't have them because they stripped them from us, which is why we will never let that happen. Which is why we will never give up our guns, no matter what the left wants, no matter what the liberals try to pass, no matter what the Republicans try to agree to. We are not compromising. No more compromising. I didn't believe in the compromising to begin with. Kept saying over and over again, do not limit the number of bullets I can have in a magazine. Do not take away my bump stock. In fact, give me a fully automatic weapon. I think we should be allowed to have it. Push back. When you were a child and you were about to do wrong and you found out your dad had a paddle that looked about the size of a canoe paddle and he tried to swat your back end like it was a fly on the table, you were a little scared before you did something stupid. There's no pushback. These shooters are walking into gun freaking free zones doing whatever they want because they know for a fact there's no armed teachers. It's going to take a while for cops to get there. That's what they're doing. Of course they're targeting gun-free zones, but the liberals, and that's how you know for a fact, the liberals do not give a damn about the dying kids. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Again, this show is not politically correct. And I don't care if that offends you. I'm sorry. We're getting stuff done. We're getting informed. We're getting educated. We're getting rallied up. We're getting psyched up. We're getting educational. We're going to start forming together. We're going to start banding together and say, you know what? What is the real purpose behind these red flag laws? Why do they want my damn guns so much? Bill, great to have you in here. Glad to have you. The American people are fed up of it. And the conservatives, now when I say patriots and I say the American people, I don't consider AOC an American. I don't even like saying her name. I don't even like using her freaking initials. It makes me sick. Makes me sick to my stomach that she got elected. But we, the people, the patriots, we're not going to allow the left to come in and steamroll us. And the thing is Trump, God bless him, whether you hate him or love him, he has no filter. And we shouldn't have a filter either. We need no filter. We need to stand up and point blank say, listen, you, Omar, are not from this country. Do not attempt to destroy it and make it like Iraq. You want to destroy the country, and you want to make it exactly like the country you said was so bad? That doesn't make any sense, so get the hell out. You're a plant. We need to start calling it out like we see it. We as a nation can do that. Who cares if they consider you a racist? Who cares? It's not true. Only, that doesn't bother me anymore. It used to. Oh, well, somebody's gonna call me a racist. Okay. You want to call me a racist for saying illegal immigrants are doing wrong and should be deported? That's not racist. It took me a while to figure it out. I'm not being racist. I'm following the law. A just law at that. Got to remember, don't follow unjust laws. Legal immigration is a beautiful thing. Anybody who wants to come to this country to pursue a dream, and to have a better life than the country they're in because it's a socialistic country or a communist country or it's a fascist country or whatever, I believe should have the ability to get in, as long as they're not a terrorist, and as long as they're not a plant, and as long as they adhere to our rules, and as long as they learn to speak English. Then yes, you have the right to come into our country. Do it legally, do it the right way. No one is going to say a thing to you. But if you got a caravan of a bunch of people we've never seen before, we don't know what diseases they have, we have no idea why they're coming, truly coming, and they're all about the same age as, I don't know, military people, active military people. We have a whole caravan of people coming, and they don't care about our laws. They're going to hop that fence no matter what. Then yes, we have a problem. And it doesn't matter. I don't even know what color they are at that point. I just know there's a long group of people coming into this country that are all of the age, military age, about military age, seeking political asylum. Are you telling me that caravan couldn't go start a revolution and say, hey, stop messing with the country? No, they're coming here to destroy the country. They're being bussed in by Soros. They're being bussed in by Clinton. That's what's happening. They're being bussed in by these people. They have to label you a racist. They have to. No, I mean, Tyler says, what about how long it takes to get through the system? Do you think it should be a little more streamlined? No. I mean, should it be, you know what, that's a tough question. Should it be a little more streamlined? Maybe. I still think they need to be vetted. I still think there has to be some kind of process. I think you have to make sure they're not trying to kill us. After 9/11, that was a wake-up call. But I don't think it should be as hard, no. I think if you're honestly coming over here, then yeah. Charlotte says, people want to come here should be able to, but if they come here to wreck a country, they can get out. Absolutely right. Alex says, this guy reminds me of Patrick Henry. Haha, cheers. Look, I'm just a guy fed up with what's going on in our country. I'm a guy fed up with people just saying horrible things about our president, a president who is actually trying to help. Bill says, no, nothing should be streamed. It's called Wait Your Turn. You come with 2,000 or more people, you wait. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. I agree with that. But I mean, if you're coming here, I don't know if the immigration laws are too harsh. But yes, I think if you're coming here with 2,000 or more people, that's not immigration. That's an invasion. Call it like you see it. What we saw that day, the caravan, that's an invasion. They were trying to invade us, period. There is no maybe, there is no if, they were trying to invade us. And if you try to invade us, we're going to make sure you don't. Which means, again, don't touch our guns. The left is doing this to push their agenda, to push their narrative. Period. That's all they're doing. And it's sad, right? I mean, it's sad. Charlotte says, yep, Soros and Clinton behind most of, if not all of it. And yeah, I agree. I agree. And again, you can go back to the Clinton body count for that. You really want to get serious about it? The Clinton body count, add up all the kids that are dying in these mass school shootings. Add up the bodies that are being just piled up from all of these mass shootings, not just the school ones either. Alex says the detainee illegals are living in better conditions than our own homeless veterans, and that should piss you off. Listen, here, we're about to go on a rant here, guys. Anytime you have an illegal immigrant living better than the people who gave their lives to serve our country. Look, I have 4 kids. I have 4 children. And every time we talk about the military, I make sure my children know that they did something their dad couldn't do. The military, if you served in our country, you are a hero. You deserve the utmost respect, period. You deserve to be put on a pedestal because you went and fought for my freedom. You're there to defend my freedom. You did something I couldn't do, and my kids will always grow up being raised that if you are in the military, you will not be disrespected. You will be shown the kind of respect that you truly deserve, and you're a hero. So when you have illegal immigrants living in better conditions than our veterans, than some of our veterans, are you kidding me? That should be enough to start a revolution. Right? I mean, I can't be the only one that thinks that. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it should be, my God, it should be illegal. I mean, we're talking about throw the politicians in jail illegal. That's the kind of stuff we just do not have room for in this country. That's the kind of stuff we're fixing. We're going to fix it. See, Trump can't do it all on his own. He needs our help. And we're going to give him that kind of help. We're going to give him the kind of help he needs. Bill Irwin says, I just did a job and followed my dad's footsteps. Well, you and your dad are heroes in my opinion, in my kids' opinion, in everybody's opinion. That matters anyways. You guys are the true heroes. So guns and why we need them. We need our guns to stop a liberal narrative, to stop them from doing horrible things to the American Constitution. Period. That's why we need the Second Amendment. That's why most Americans understand why we have the Second Amendment. It's the liberals that want to push their agenda that don't understand why we have the Second Amendment. So that's why we need our Second Amendment. That's why we need the guns. That's why we need people to stand up. That's why we need to make this show popular. That's why we need to get more people involved. And that's why you need to remember political correctness does not matter. Stop being politically correct. Stop it. Call it like you see it. It's okay to call it like you see it. People will back you up. I'll lead the charge. I'll lead the charge. It was great. It was great to see everybody in the chat. I mean, I'm super, super happy everybody was in the chat. And everybody's thanking Bill for their service. I couldn't thank you enough. Alex says they're worse than the British ever were. You're absolutely correct. They're worse than the British were, and we're doing less. You got to remember, we fought a war over a 2% tax in tea and molasses. Now we're getting taxed out of our houses. We're getting taxed out of our jobs. We're getting taxed out of our cars. We're getting taxed out of our lives. And we still haven't started the revolution yet. Scary part. It is. It's scary. If you get right down to it, it's a very scary situation. But this country needs people like us, needs people like the people in the chat room, needs people like the Answers for Benghazi. Lisa, who runs the Answer for Benghazi page, or Punishment for Benghazi page, I'm sorry. She has done amazing work on this page. Amazing work on this page. She doesn't get the thanks she deserves, I'll tell you that. We need the Second Amendment, and we're not going to get rid of it. The liberals know why we need it. The true conservatives know why we need it. The uneducated punks don't know why we need it. They think because they listen to what the talking heads on CNN say, the propaganda that they push, they think that all guns are evil because the liberals tell them that. It's not true. And push back on it. Push back. Fight it. And fight it hard. I'm telling you, it'll work. I'm telling you it will. We're going to keep growing this channel. We're going to keep growing this show. And it's going to be people like you who are going to go, you know what, I've had enough. And on Facebook, you're going to make that argument. You're going to make the argument with the idiot on a political opinion. And he's going to say, well, you're just a racist. No, we're not. We're not racist. We're patriots. We're Christians. We're brothers. We're sisters. We're mothers. We're fathers. We're everything but racist. We care about everybody. We care about small business. We care about capitalism. But most importantly, we care about each other. That's what they failed to realize. You want to talk about a division in this country. There is a division, but that's because you're starting to see the people who care about the country versus the people who are trying to destroy it. There needs to be a division in the country. The country needs to be divided, but we need to come together. We need to come together and say, this is the plan of attack. We are going to educate everybody we can, and we're going to stop with the political correctness. Once we do that, The left has nothing left to do. They can't. We'll run them out of the country. And that's not racist to say. We're going to run them out of the country. They're gone. Bill says, and if you look close, they are taking the first along with the second by changing words of Patriot channels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You couldn't be more right. You couldn't be more right. They absolutely are doing that. Charlotte says, Keith, I share your page. Oops, sorry. I lost it. Where'd it go? Says, Keith, I share your videos in my research group, and I couldn't thank you enough for that. Charlotte, I appreciate it so much. I really, really do. Alex says, our country has turned its back on God. Our nation as we know it, its days are numbered. We need the Bible back in school. Amen. Amen. We need the Bible back in school. And I don't care if it offends some Muslim because it goes against their Allah. Mainly because I don't care about Allah. You're damn right. I can care less about the Prophet Muhammad. It's not my religion. My religion is the true God. I'm not going to fight you over it until you try to fight me. But you're right. Put God back in schools. Put God back in the homes. Use the 10 Commandments for the way they were intended. To teach you morals. To teach you morals. You know, morals? This country forgot about morals because you got a bunch of kids who would rather play Call of Duty than pick up a Constitution every now and again. That's the real issue. It's the real problem. The parents don't give a damn. The parents gave up. The parents gave up. All right, guys, I'll be doing another show Monday. We're going to start on schedule. It'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So those are the 3 days I'm doing a show. Unless I get requests to do every day, we'll see how big it gets, and we'll see what happens. But I think Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, all at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here in Cleveland, home of the Indians, yippee, home of the Browns. But I'm here, and so it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll probably stick to around about an hour show, just that way you guys have a chance to watch it, share it, pass it around, and join the chat. Get some more people in the chat. The more we grow, the bigger. I'm probably going to be launching a Kickstarter soon for the show and see what goes on and how we get a response, because I want to upgrade equipment. But I would like to make this as big as possible. And I can't thank everybody in here enough, all the way from Charlotte, Alex, Bill, just everybody. Katie, Tyler, everybody. I can't think. Oh, go Braves. Oh. That hurt. That hurt a little bit. No, I'm glad we're baseball fans. I like it. But I really can't thank everybody enough for the amazing support. The first show blew up way more than I thought. If I get more views on this one, I'll be even more shocked. I got a lot of shares. There was 33 shares on the last video. If I get more on this one, I'll really be shocked. But share the videos around, guys. Go to the Anchor to check out some of my podcasts. Don't do it yet because I'm having a problem with Anchor only recording about 30 minutes of the show. And I don't want to just do a 30-minute show because we've got a lot to talk about. And even doing an hour show is getting a little short. So we might have to bump it up to a 2-hour show, I'm thinking. But I can't thank you guys enough for your support. I can't thank everybody enough for everything. Let's make it go viral, guys. Let's make the show go big. But I'm going to need your help doing it. So Monday I'll be back, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Punishment for Benghazi. And we're going to dive into a lot of stuff, and we're going to get even more in depth, and we're going to scare a lot of these politicians. We're going to make them scared. And that's my goal. My goal is to get the politicians to go, my God, he's rallying people up. He's got the American people charged. That's what I want to happen, guys. Again, couldn't thank you guys enough. Alex, Charlotte, Karen, my mom, everybody. Thanks for coming in and chatting. It's been fun. It's been great being behind the mic again. I've missed it, and I couldn't thank you guys enough. So, again, Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, Punishment for Benghazi. Check it out, guys. We'll be back.